Good morning, friends and frenemies, or afternoon or evening, whenever the hell you're listening to this. Time is a social construct, just like the financial system. If you're new here, let's debrief. This is where we take the fear out of finance and we break down money topics in a way that doesn't make you want to unalive yourself. And today, we're diving into everyone's favorite topic, budgeting. Before you switch to TikTok, I swear I'm not here to shame you into living like a Victorian orphan. To be honest, I think that most budgeting advice is absolute trash. It's either so restrictive that no human with a pulse could follow it, or it's so vague that it's basically useless. The thing is, budgeting isn't like Brandy's one size fits all. Your budget should fit your life, not the other way around. We all have different incomes and expenses and priorities. The budget that works for your friend who's saving for a house might be totally wrong for you if you're attempting to pay off student loans while still trying to have a social life. So instead of giving you rules, I want to talk about budgeting mindsets. Because honestly, the mindset matters way more than the method. First up, we have what I like to call, and pardon my French, the fuck it budget. You've tried basic budgeting, failed, and now you just wing it. You kind of know what comes in, you pay what's due, and hope for the best. Look, if you're naturally frugal or you have a safety net, low-key jealous, this could sort of work. But for the rest of us, this is a financial crash out waiting to happen. Next, we have the deprivation diet. This is basically misery disguised as discipline. You deny yourself joy and become a financial hermit. And sure, you might save money this way, but you'll also probably hate your life. I've done this. I gave myself about $20, I think junior year of college, to quote unquote build discipline. And guess what happened 3 weeks in? I binged on a night out with drinks and Ubers and probably the entire Taco Bell menu. I then felt like absolute crap about it for weeks. The cycle of binging and restriction is so real, especially when we are in control of our money for the first time. So what's the alternative? The values-based budget. And it's the only approach that's worked for me long term. The concept is pretty simple. Instead of focusing on what you can't spend money on, you focus on what you want to spend money on. What actually matters to you? What brings you joy? What are your real goals? For me, experiences matter. I'll eat pasta and eggs for weeks if it means I can go see Noah Khan live or fly out for a weekend with my best friend. But designer clothes, I couldn't care less. The point is, your budget should reflect your values, not some finance bro's idea of what he considers responsible. So how do we create the values-based budget? Let's break it down in 5 steps. Step 1, know your numbers. And by that, I mean your after-tax income. This is your actual income, not what your job offer states, unfortunately. And if your income is irregular, work with your average over the last 3 months. Step 2, cover your non-negotiables, the things you literally can't skip. So like rent, utilities, groceries, real groceries, not DoorDash, and any subscriptions you really use. Step 3, fund your future self, like an emergency fund or debt goals. Not sexy, but very necessary. Step 4, keep your sanity. This is the money you allocate for things that protect your peace. Concerts, a SoulCycle membership, maybe even therapy, whatever keeps you sane and happy. This should not be an afterthought. Think of it as your mental health line item. Now, step 5 is the rest. Whatever's left can go toward flexible expenses like shopping and takeout and whatever your prerogative is. You don't have to eliminate these. You just have to keep them in check with your big picture. Now, if you're completely lost, the 50-30-20 rule can be a decent starting point. That's 50% for your after-tax income for needs, 30% for wants, and 20% for savings and debt repayment, beyond minimums. But let's be real, these percentages don't work for everyone. In 2024, the average rent was 40 to 60% of income in major cities. The goal isn't perfect ratios. It's covering your needs, goals, and joy in any way that doesn't leave you eating sleep for dinner. Now, if you want something a little more intuitive and honestly more realistic, try the sustainable budget stack. Think of this like skincare, but for your wallet. Instead of spiraling over color-coded spreadsheets and big monthly reviews, build a routine with 3 layers. The first one is going to be your daily defaults. These are your automations that you can keep in check pretty easily. Rent and groceries and debt minimums. Think of it like your financial SPF. Now, the next layer is your weekly check-in. Once a week, just spend 5 minutes asking, did my spending this week actually reflect my values and my goals? Why or why not? And your final layer is what I call the quarterly catch up. Every few months, ask yourself, are my priorities still the same? Is my budget still serving me, or am I serving it at this point? Most people don't budget because they think it's a full-time job. Micro habits are so much more sustainable long term than big monthly reviews. But let's get this out of the way. Sometimes your problem isn't spending, it's income. If you're already living lean, it's not about better budgeting, it's about making more money. And we'll dig into that in future episodes, from salary negotiation to side hustles that don't make you selfie pictures. If you're feeling brave, scroll through your Venmo and bank account history and ask yourself, do my purchases reflect my priorities? If not, it's time to realign, not restrict. I've got some budgeting templates in my bio that don't assume you live in 1950 or have a trust fund. So use them, ignore them, modify them, whatever works for you. Your 20s and probably your 30s too are financially chaotic. You're going to make financially questionable decisions. I once spent $130, I think, on a silk pillowcase because TikTok told me it would get rid of my hormonal acne. Plot twist, I had to start a round of Accutane 3 months later. We all have our moments, okay? Next episode, we will be talking about how the rich actually think about credit and debt. Until then, follow us on all socials for some money mouthfuls and the occasional thirst trap. Because hey, a girl's gotta diversify her assets. Oh, and if you like this episode, tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell that girl you hate follow on Instagram. The more girls we get talking about money, the stronger we all become.